Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Yes, hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Good.
Excellent. The cocktail of the week this week is the Monte Cassino.
Yes.
That's a fun name.
Named after the World War II battle.
Would you like to tell us about that battle?
No. Maybe a little too niche. The way you just looked at me? No.
You know that TikTok meme that's been going around when, like, ask your boyfriend how often he thinks of the Roman Empire?
Yes.
And I asked Ingo this, and you're like, pretty much like every day. And then I think you actually sent me a video from a woman who, like, seemed to me like a history scholar who's like, your boyfriend is just thinking about Gladiator. Like, ask him what he's thinking about. Ask him when the Roman Empire was. Like, when did it start and when did it end? He doesn't know anything about the Roman Empire.
Ask him three emperors. Ask him, what influence the Roman Empire had on American government. Ask him anything. All he thinks of is sweaty men.
Which, like, is good. But, like, you don't have to get that much credit for thinking about Russell Crowe topless.
No, I'm usually thinking of the water and sanitation system that ancient Rome had. Mm-hmm. And the aqueducts.
But, like, what do you know about it?
The aqueducts?
Yeah.
I've seen them.
I mean,
cool.
I too have seen them.
I know they were lead lined, which was a problem. I know they had, they were able to run the water through pipes through valleys and then back up the other side using, the system of pipes. So the water remains at the same level on both sides of the valley unless there's a break in the pipe. It was pretty cool. The engineering they did with water and sanitation was amazing.
But I mean, it sounds like your thought is just like, man, water's cool.
Yeah, I don't. That's right. I mean, I'm not thinking about
taking a cough break. That's fine.
Philosophical problems or solving the world's issues by thinking of the Roman Empire. Just, I think of how cool that was.
Okay.
How much we've lost since then when my water doesn't work.
The Monte Cassino cocktail is an equal parts cocktail. So they're really easy to make because it's equal parts of all the ingredients. And this cocktail is equal parts rye whiskey, yellow chartreuse, Benedictine, which is a herbal liqueur made also by monks. The chartreuse is made by monks. Benedictine is made by monks.
Different monks. And the Benedictine monks are the one with the battle. They weren't fighting. There was
the battle came to them.
Monte Cassino is a Benedictine monastery that's on top of a mountain in Italy that is apparently it overlooks major, now what's roads. It used to be trade routes, I'm sure, which is what a lot of people put their fortresses on top of hills to control roads, and then they would charge people for the privilege of not being, attacked as they went by. So maybe the Benedictine monks had a business as that too in the Middle Ages.
Don't besmirch the Benedictine monks who could have just been making this delicious herbal liqueur and had war come to them.
Don't need a fortress on a hill to make herbal liqueur. That's all I'm saying.
It's got nice views.
Anyway, so there was a major battle in World War II. The Germans were up on top in the fortress, and the Allies had to fight their way up the hill into the fortress.
Who won?
The Allies.
Excellent.
After a long time.
So, equal parts rye whiskey, yellow chartreuse, Benedictine, and lemon juice. Shake it all up, double strain it into a pre-chilled coupe glass.
It's very herbal. As you would guess from the ingredients. It's very herbal, but the lime juice makes it very nice.
Lemon.
Very interesting.
Lemon juice.
Tastes like lime juice.
Oh, man. I think it's very Benedictine forward. I like Benedictine a lot, but Benedictine's a really strong flavor.
It's good.
So you better like it if you try it.
It's good. It's good.
It's a variation on the paper plane, which is also a classic cocktail. Okay, it's time for Administrative Corner.
Ooh, I love Administrative Corner.
I know you do.
Glad we have something administrative to discuss.
We got a few things.
Yay.
So thing number one is that my book comes out in 3 weeks.
Unbelievable. You know how far away November seemed in June?
In like last September when we actually finished the book?
It seemed like, oh, sure, like that we'll ever make it to then. But we did.
Yeah, it's all here all of a sudden. And because our goal is to get Vink on the New York Times bestseller list, we need to get pre-orders because all those pre-orders count. So everyone has been great about ordering books and donating books from Honest Dog, and those all count towards it. But we're trying to just get the numbers up. I have been called by people who want the numbers up. So,
well,
I know. So they think the way to do this is for me to post more about it on the Golden Ratio accounts. I feel like you guys have bought all the books that you need to buy at this point, but I also want to make these people happy. So there are going to be multiple posts a week touting the awesomeness of the book. I feel a little bad, like I'm asking you guys for too much. You've all bought your books already, and that's cool. Retweet one if you really like it.
Tell your friends, tell your enemies, especially your enemies.
Tell your friends. One thing that we're thinking about doing, and I'm going to open this offer to anyone. My co-author Stacy and I had talked about, what are strategies? Because I was like, listen, everybody who follows the Golden Ratio knows about the book at this point. Like, yep. I have talked about it a lot. So the way that we're going to... no. Hang on a second. No. The way that we're going to sell more books is not to get the Golden Ratio people to know about the book, because they all know about the book already. Right? I haven't shut up about the book.
You've been fine.
I have saturated you guys with messaging. You've been very
reasonable in pointing it out. Yes.
So the goal is to get people who don't follow us to be aware of the book. And we were kind of talking about ways to do that. And one idea that we came up with is to have vet offices post about the book on their social media page. So if your vet's office has a bunch of followers and would be willing to do it, we will send you a copy of the book, and they can do a giveaway. They can auction it off. But we'll send you one. And if they put it up there and put a little link to buy it on Amazon or whatever, we'll give them a book in exchange for that. And it would be great to get it up on some site. So if you know a person and your vet's office is willing, put them in touch with me or drop me an email, and we'll make that happen.
Yeah.
If you know anybody else who you got a little dog walking group and you want to send them a link to the book, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Or any, cults that are organized around Vink would probably want some books too.
The cults of Vink probably follow the socials, our socials.
Vink. The claw.
I would like to know about any cults of Vink, if they exist also, independent of book sales.
That would be an awesome story.
Actually cults of any of our dogs. If you got rituals, I would really love to know about them.
Yep.
Yeah. Good point, Ingo.
Yep.
I think we shared all the details about the Orlando book event. Just because people have been asking. I am going to put this up in the push for dog stuff. But we have a bunch of different events.
What's push for dog stuff?
Push for dog book sales.
A click? Are you going to do a link for this?
I'm just going to do a bunch of posts. Hey, the book's coming out. Here's a little quote. Here's a little thing.
Oh, great.
Okay. So one of the little posts that I'm going to put up will have this info. But for those who are interested, we have a little book tour, and the events are November 14th in Orlando, which is the one that we've been talking about, actually Winter Park. And then we're doing a virtual thing November 15th with Honest Dog Books. So if you bought a book from Honest Dog Books, you got an invite. It's invite only if you bought a book from Honest Dog. And so that's going to be Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern.
What's the date?
November 15th.
Okay.
If you happen to be in Key West, Saturday, November 18th, we're doing a signing at Books and Books, owned by Judy Bloom. Pretty cool.
Very cool.
So 11 to 1. If any of you guys come, I'll buy you a pina colada at Key West Legal Realm after the signing.
I'll go get him.
And we'll go get him. So that's Saturday, November 18th, if anybody happens to be in Key West. There may be a dog at that one, depending. We're not sure yet.
Depending on how these guys behave.
And I actually haven't talked to Books and Books yet. I don't know if they're dog friendly or not. That's a question mark. And then we have 2 DC area events. There will not be dogs at those, unless there's some crazy reason that we need to have all the dogs up there or a dog up there. But I don't want to drive 40 hours
too big
around.
To fly.
Yeah. So Saturday, December 2nd in Arbutus, Maryland at the Baltimore County Public Library at 2 p.m. We're doing a signing. Me and Stacy will both be there.
Arbutus?
Is that how you say it?
I don't know. I don't know why I think that's the way to say it.
Arbutus or Arbutus, whatever. It's in Baltimore County.
Yep.
So we're doing an event with them on December 2nd. That's going to be cool. It's in the afternoon. And then Wednesday, December 13th at Busboys and Poets on 14th Street at 6 p.m. We're also doing an event there. Busboy and Poet events are great.
Yep. That's a great place.
It's a good date, you guys, if you want to like go on a date, because it's like a restaurant and they've got a bar and then they've got an event space and like lots of books, very literary. So it's fun.
Meet cool people.
Yeah, meet cool people. Apparently, when I was in therapy last week, I was talking to therapist Dave. Obviously, he's the only guy I talk to in therapy.
It's good because if it's group therapy, that's different.
That's a different thing. And he was telling me that he'd been trying to come up with a good question to ask me at one of the events that like wouldn't be too inside jokey for us so that like other people wouldn't get it, but that also would be like kind of clever. And I had no idea he was actually thinking about coming to one of these. So I don't think he's decided yet, but you may get a spotting of therapist Dave. And if he does ask a question, I'm going to call him out as Dr. Therapist Dave. I'm going to be Dr. Therapist Dave. Thank you very much for the question. And you all can like turn and like see the man behind the stories.
He'll run. Maybe he might flee.
I don't think he's prepared for the level of fandom that the dogs have and that people will know who he is.
Yeah, he'll have to sign things.
Oh my God, you guys, if Dr. Therapist Dave comes to a book signing and asks a question, I point him out, you have to ask him to sign. Please, somebody ask him to sign one of your books as Dr. Therapist Dave. That would absolutely, it would catch him off guard, which is hard for me to do. It'd be very funny. It would give us some fun stuff to talk about.
Fun to see his reaction.
Yeah. And video it, please.
Oh, yeah.
So I can see. That would be great. So anyway, those are our planned events. We are still trying to get events in both Boston, Cambridge, preferably, and Chicago, and I'm going to bug them this week to see if those are happening. We're also doing a ton of TV and radio stuff like in the next couple weeks. The one that stands out for me the most is that WGN, hometown television station of me in Chicago, is going to have a segment with us, actually with just me, I think. When is that going to be?
When she says us, it's not me. It's the co-author.
This is all, this isn't even her.
I am not involved in the book.
November 13th at noon, which is the Monday before the book comes out. The day before the book comes out, I'm going to be on WGN.
Man.
So if you're in the Chicago or Chicagoland area, check me out on like lunchtime TV.
Amazing.
I'm very excited about that.
Oh, you're going to get back into your Chicago accent.
I can't. I was trying to do the Chicago accent for someone this week, like my native accent. I can't do it anymore.
If you get interviewed by someone with one, you might, though.
I think it would take a while.
Maybe.
Anyway.
That's why we watch these things. That's why it's interesting to watch.
Yeah. I will try my best to say you guys instead of y'all if I have to use a plural second person because...
You guys.
But we're doing a bunch of like NPR, like local public radio stuff. BBC is doing an interview. WGN.
You know, the BBC.
The BBC. So yeah, so that's the plan with the book. I know it can get like a little annoying, but like this is my job, is to post about the book for the next few weeks. So thank you for your patience. There will be cute dog pics with all of it. So hopefully that offsets any
Don't
annoying
expect me to say it's annoying. It's not.
How many books have you bought?
I'm secrets. It may expand by need.
Oh man.
How many books? Several, but I've just pre-ordered them. They haven't actually shown up. They're not real.
That's true. Okay. So there you go. That's Administrative Corner.
Oh, there you go.
You want for dog updates?
Yeah, let's move into dog updates.
Okay. This week I had to go to California this past week, and I left my car. Oh, this was terrible. So I flew to San Diego on Wednesday, and I flew back on Thursday.
Which is a lot of flying for 2 days. I don't even know how the time zones work, but you definitely flew longer than you were there.
I was definitely like transporting more than I was in California. That is true.
No kidding.
So I drove myself to the airport on Wednesday because you had work stuff.
Yep.
And flew out Wednesday afternoon, got in late, did my talk, and then flew back. But there was no way for me to get back to Key West on Thursday because there's just a limited number of flights that come to Key West, and I think they have to stop them at like 10. Like there's a curfew.
They don't land too late.
And so I could have stayed all day in San Diego and then flown back to Key West on Friday, which, like, if I weren't traveling every single week until Christmas, I would have done, because San Diego's lovely. But I am traveling every single week. I'm going back to California tomorrow. So I was like, I'd like to get home as soon as possible. I will catch this flight that gets me in to Miami at 12:30.
And Miami's close.
And then drive the 3 hours home to the Keys, which will be long, but it'll be fine. And Ingo's like, I will come pick you up. So Ingo drove up to Miami, and then I got in the car at like 1 a.m. and we got home at 4 a.m.
You drove home. To your credit, you drove home. I was like sleeping.
You slept maybe for an hour.
I was like sleeping. I was sleeping.
Yeah, you were sleeping for like an hour. It was.
I brought the guacaman and feta.
It was not the most fun. We were both very tired.
I mean, there were no parties in the car, but it was still better than to not have you back.
I'm glad we did it. I'm glad also that I don't have to do that again.
Well, I'm glad you drove.
But anyway, my car was then stranded a car was stranded at Key West Airport. So we went to pick it up. We went out, we grabbed some dinner, went to the airport. I drove the car that I was in home, and then Ingo got in the airport car and drove it home. So he was right behind me. So I pulled into the driveway. I closed the gate behind me, and I had Guac and Feta in the car with me.
Right, but gate was closed, so you
closed the gate. And so I let them out of the car, and as I was pulling in, our crazy neighbor across the street, her cats were in the middle of the street, which is rare for us to see them, but they were both out there. And as I was pulling in, they kind of ran over to her house. So I get in, I close the gate, I open the door, Guac gets out, and then right as he does that, Ingo opens the gate because he's pulling into the driveway. And
I saw no cats. They
were gone.
They're scattered.
You wouldn't have seen them.
No.
And I don't know how Guac saw them, but Guac bolted for that gate when it opened up straight into the crazy neighbor's yard. And I was like, Ingo, get him. And like, Ingo doesn't know what's going on. And I was like, get out of the car and get Guac. And like, Ingo runs out and chases him. I like picked up Feta and threw her in your car.
Both of us were standing there angrily saying, Guac.
Oh, it was my very angry voice.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He did not care at all, was just under her house looking for her cats. He didn't catch them,
He eventually did come back kind of sheepish.
Oh,
and then stopped like in the middle of the road, and you had to like
I was trying to get him in the house.
Push him in.
He wouldn't come. And I don't grab dogs by the scruff of the neck, but I will like put an arm under the chest and an arm behind the butt and push. And he kept going like, no, I don't want to. And I was like, you are going. Like, I will pick you up if I have to.
Yeah.
Jerk. And he kept trying to stop and run in. Usually he's very good about listening to me.
He was all discombobulated.
Yeah, he got in big trouble. I mean, that's it. Then I put him in the house, and
it's an escapo plus, really, because it's also embarrassing because she was out calling her cats. I don't think he got the cat.
He did not.
Do you know this?
I saw the cat on the stairs. Yeah.
Okay.
So he didn't get the cats, but
good. Because I had visions internally of him with the cat in his mouth, going, "Now I've caught the cat. Now what?"
Mm-hmm.
But nothing really happened. But then she was, of course, talking to us, yelling out at us, like, I think ridiculous stuff about her cat or something about our dog, how nice he was or something. Like, it was goofy stuff. It was totally as though nothing had happened, but she really wanted to talk to us, and we both ran away.
Our whole goal is to not talk to her.
To not engage at all. And then Guac does this thing, which is
just the
worst kind of engagement.
The worst. Remy has also escaped over there before.
Remy wanders, though, more. He kind of just, like, wanders silently.
He was still there.
Yeah,
so
he's also very interested. I mean, there's 2 cats over there, right? So
don't do that. No. Sorry, Remy's trying to crawl into the podcast box.
Don't do it, man.
So anyway, that was the big escape.
That was excitement. I mean, Feta keeps wandering over to the swimming pool people, but I think
neighbor.
They're
back.
They're back.
They took us out on their boat today. That we had a fun time. We went out to lunch.
Luckily, we appear to have gotten away with it. They didn't make any comments about seeing our dogs over there.
Yep.
They love our dogs. The comments would all be positive.
They were all like, because I was like, look, when I take Feta for walks, we go around to the fence and through your backyard. So it like lets us keep an eye on stuff.
Steak neighbor's yard.
Steak neighbor's yard. we make sure everything's okay in the back, just kind of keep an eye on it. And it also keeps the crazy neighbor from seeing us go out the front gate. Right. So it's like an extreme win. She's like, you're welcome to come back here even when we're here. And I was like, thanks. But I was like, Feta loves your pool. And, she would get in it like right when we got her, but she wasn't big enough to get out. So she'd run over and then she'd get stuck because she couldn't climb back out. No. And they're like, well, we spent a whole day with Venkman that one time, which is
Venkman ended up in our kitchen. I'm not sure how that happened.
When she got the steak.
Yeah, but she was up the stairs in their kitchen. Yeah. The more details we hear about that big giant escape rope, the more heroic it seems.
So anyway, it's nice that they're back. Everybody else, I think, has had an uneventful week.
Feta keeps growing. She's looking like a small dog now.
Full on. Medium cheese.
All teeth are replaced. Were they already replaced last week?
Yes, she had just lost it like before the pod.
Yep.
She's getting real fluffy. She's going to be, I wondered if she'd be like kind of sleek like guac, but she's quite fluffy already.
She's looking more like Remy's coat.
I hope she's like giant and poofy.
She's
like Vink-like but brown.
She's got amazing texture already in her back.
Yeah.
She's getting harder to pick up. It's too bad. I liked her being very portable.
Me too.
Yeah, so now we have to train her. She's just crazy still, though. Right now she's dragging Vink around.
Yeah.
By a toy, not by Vink's ear, which is a positive.
That's a win.
That's a win.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for dog updates. Do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, Brody continues to get his laser and massage, and he's doing okay. Vink is getting laser in her elbow still, and seems to be somewhat better. She's still limping, but it's much less debilitating than it was. She went swimming again the other day.
Yeah.
So hopefully everyone's getting better with their various ailments, but everyone's doing pretty well and is, lukewarm on getting chomped all the time by Feta, but nobody's made a big deal out of it so far.
They're all tolerant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe too tolerant.
Feta, you're not eating floof out of that, are you? Feta, come here. Okay, good job. She's got the stuffed beaver toy, but
she's working on it, isn't she? I'll go get her. Hang on. Thank you's the move your meat, lose your seat rule, and is now sitting where I usually sit.
You can kick her out.
She would say she usually sits there.
Yeah.
She's my baby. I'm not going to kick her out.
Okay.
I moved my meat. I lost my seat. She's fair and square in my seat.
All right. So for ramblings this week, a friend of the squad, Midlife Midwife, sent us an article from Field and Stream, and a couple of people sent this, but they sent it first. The most outrageous fishing tournament cheating scandals of all time. Because I said last time I want all the fishing scandal stories. Yes. So this is a compilation from Field and Stream.
Wow. Field and Stream. Yep. They should know.
Exactly. Published in March this year by Stephen Hill. Okay. So these aren't numbered, but just in order of the article. The Great Walleye Fishing Tournament Cheating Scandal of 2020. That's the weights in fish.
That's still,
a classic.
The best.
Okay. An infamous bass cheating ring comes crashing down.
Bass cheating ring.
When Elroy McNeil set out to rig a 1983 fishing tournament with a largemouth bass purchased in Florida, he had to stop off at his Louisiana home first to thaw the frozen lunker
for Pete's sake.
In his bathtub before rendezvousing with his co-conspirator, an angler named Terry Issam, who's competing in the Roadrunner Bass Tournament in Tyler, Texas. Over the next year and a half, McNeil would upgrade his con, outfitting his truck with an aerator to haul live fish and recruiting half a dozen anglers to scam $350,000 from the Texas Bass Tournament circuit.
They would just import a big bass and then pretend they caught it?
After an angler involved in the scheme turned up dead at his favorite fishing spot from a shotgun blast.
An accident.
It says the death was investigated as a murder but eventually ruled a suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Federal authorities launched an investigation. In 1985, McNeil and 3 anglers received fines and 5-year prison sentences after pleading guilty.
Oh, good. That's some consequences. That's nice.
Issam, who's the first co-conspirator, was the government's star witness, and he got a lighter sentence for a lesser charge.
Hmm.
A familiar fish. The first place finisher in an English fishing tournament was busted for cheating after the runner-up recognized the top bass from a local aquarium.
Nice. That is some fish knowledge right there. That's Jake from the local aquarium. Wow.
Matthew Clark was declared the winner of Guernsey's 2012 Balwick Bass Club tournament for a 13-pound, 13-ounce bass that topped by 3 pounds the second-place fish caught by Shane Bentley. But as Clark posed for photos with his prize winner, Bentley realized he'd seen the fish before on a visit to the local St. Peter Port Aquarium. It stood out because it had very distinct markings on its head, Bentley told the Express.
He should win for that alone. For that recognition alone, they should make him the winner.
When the bass was lifted out of the tank for the photo, I thought, that's the fish from the aquarium. The next morning, I went to the aquarium. I looked in the tank, but couldn't see the fish. Then the woman looked, and she couldn't find the fish either.
They didn't even notice it was missing.
Clark copped to scaling a cliff and climbing a rope ladder to break into the aquarium, where it turns out he'd previously worked.
Cat burglar.
He told police he'd planned to return the fish after the contest, but dropped and injured it as he made his getaway.
Oh my God. No.
He took it to a fish seller who didn't realize it was stolen and chopped it up, an aquarium person said. All we got back was the head and the tail.
He returned the head and the tail? I'm not sure that helps, dude.
He got 100 hours of community service for his deceit.
Should have been a little harsher. I mean, but also, can you imagine like a zoo being like, I haven't seen the elephants in a few days. I wonder where they are. Oh, maybe we should check for our elephants. Somebody stole them. This aquarium's like, I wonder where fish is. Oh, well, yeah. Shrug.
All right. Tales of Deception. I'm going to read this one in like radio voice.
Is it tales like tails?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, like a fish tail.
Yeah.
Sometimes a tail is all it takes to cheat. In 2020, Brent Taylor was charged with fraud after severed fish tail was found in his boat during a kayak fishing tournament in Texas's Decker Lake. Since kayak tournaments award prizes based on overall length rather than weight, anglers document their catches by photographing fish stretched out on an approved measuring board. After tournament officials questioned Taylor's photos, game wardens with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department searched his boat and discovered the tail, which he initially claimed he found in the lake and planned to turn in when he returned to shore. Later, the violator confirmed to have used the tail to place over another bass, using his hand to cover the questionable area.
Get out!
To make the fish look longer on multiple occasions. TPWD said in a statement. He was arrested for fraud.
No kidding. Wow.
Texas wardens foiled a similar finagle. God, I don't think I've ever seen finagle written down. A similar finagle at a Lake Fork tournament in 2018. Terry Keith Long was charged with fraud after he used scissors to trim a bass's tail to make the overall fish. Oh, so this is like the story we just read.
Yeah, where it couldn't be more than 60 inches or something, and then they trimmed him down.
A grand jury indicted him on a third-degree felony.
Good.
Wardens were no strangers to the attempted sleight of hand, having uncovered the same ruse at a Lake Fork tourney in 2015.
If he's like finagling his way into prize money of $10,000, that's a first-degree felony here. That's jail.
An international carp fishing tournament cheating scandal.
Oh, yeah.
Fishing tournament cheating is not distinct to the U.S., which you don't have to say because you already did an English story. But hey. In fact, Romania's national carp fishing team, I didn't know there were national carp fishing teams.
Well, it's an Olympic sport, and it's no, I'm just kidding.
Have I told the podcast story of when I stayed next door to the French national sailing team?
It's been a while. I think it came along with Chunky Vank. That was the Chunky Vank episode.
So she stole their underpants.
Yes, she did.
I lived next door to the French national sailing team.
Olympic underpants.
And Vink ran into their house and stole one of the guy's underpants and brought them to me.
He was very proud. And it was a very European underpants.
The guys would like eat these beautiful French dinners out on our shared patio, and never once invited me to have a snack or a glass of wine.
Forget about it. So they deserved their underpants stole.
I did give the underpants back.
Very big of you. Unnecessary.
Okay, so Romania's national carp fishing team was accused of cheating after they won the 14th World Carp Angling Championships in 2012. England's national team lodged a formal protest against the Romanians.
Wait, is that the World Carp Cup? World Cup Carp? World Carp of
The
fishing.
World Carp.
All right, go ahead.
England's national team lodged a formal protest against the Romanians, who were also the hosts of the event, after discovering that the home team had spent several months leading up to the competition at Lake Corbu feeding carp a secret bait that gave them an advantage during the tournament.
Training their carp. Training them.
Wow. Romania took first place in the team in individual categories. Bulgaria, Siberia, and Portugal, which discovered the ruse while practicing at the lake and secured a supply of the secret bait for their use during the tournament, rounded out the top 4. This is like international scandal.
Wait, did you say Siberia was separately entered?
Yes. Siberia.
What is this, Risk? No, that's not a country.
And the last sentence is, back in America, anglers questioned why there was an international carp fishing tournament in the first place. Which, guys, kind of my question for all of this.
They must eat. They do eat. They eat carp.
Why are they like, well, it's one thing to have a bass tournament, but I don't know why they have a catfish tournament.
Well, catfish will eat anything. You just bait with cheese
Catch
and
them
they'll
with
eat
your
it.
hand.
It doesn't take no skill. My 4-year-old my nephew can catch a carp.
Okay.
Takes some real skill to lure a bass.
So thank you guys for sending this. Please keep all the fish scandal news coming. Makes me happy.
It is, and these are serious crimes. And I am actually quite upset about this because, it's just like cheating at golf. Like, come on, guys. It's like there should be a code, and it should be for its own sake. It shouldn't just be for like the prize money, and you shouldn't be cheating.
Codes go out the window when there's $350,000 on the line.
I guess it's just embarrassing. It's just sad. This is sad. It ruins it for everyone. Like, I think people really enjoy fishing.
Yep.
And then they're probably very good at it, and then someone comes in and has secret bait.
Secret bait and a fish from the aquarium.
Secret bait. Ugh. Yeah, aquarium fish. A fake tail. A fake tail.
Just put my finger over that and no one will know.
Look at this long tail that I have in my boat.
It's like Wood's tail, but for
it's
fish.
A Wood's tail. Wow, all these fish have the same tail.
It's time for Taste of the Keys.
All right, bring it
Fantasy Fest right now.
Wow.
Fantasy Fest is happening.
I'm having visions of Bacchanalia.
Yep. We haven't gone to anything so far. It started this week. And I'm going to be in California most this next week.
And I'm not going without you. Don't worry.
No. I mean, hey, if that's your thing,
I don't think I can reach I can't put the glitter on my back myself. would need your help.
But we're going to go on the weekend, assuming that I get back, which I think I'll be back by Friday, to the parade and maybe for some walk around time. We do have costumes. Do you want to tell what our costumes are?
Should we, or should we make it a surprise?
Oh, all right. We'll post a surprise photo.
It's a partner costume.
Yep.
And it's terrifying. Although I don't know. Last year, you going as Pennywise and me as the little kid in the raincoat was freaking
Georgie.
Amazing.
It was a great costume. I had red helium balloon.
Amazing. And it made me, this is just great. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to recite any lines. I didn't need to know an accent. I just had to be there and look scared, which was pretty easy.
Just put on that yellow raincoat and you're good.
Perfect.
Yep.
I was hot, but it was perfect.
Yep. This year's costumes will be cooler, but we are not going naked, not even partially naked. We will be G-rated, except for terrifyingness.
Terrifying.
Okay, so Fantasy Fest. Great. Google Fantasy Fest, and you'll see some pictures. And then if you want the risky ones, turn off Safe Search and Google Fantasy Fest penis, which I accidentally did once because of the podcast, and that it's not safe for work.
I love how you have a reason for all these random searches. Oh, it's for work. This was for the podcast. Yeah.
I want everybody on board. Like, if I die, somebody needs to clear my browser history.
She has 85 tabs open across 7 browsers with varying levels of security and safe search and ad block and anonymization. I'm taking a hammer and I'm smashing your laptop.
That's great. That is exactly what needs to happen.
A low-tech, high-impact solution.
I love it.
But I cannot do it electronically.
Hey, Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Perfect solution. All my electronics, please.
357.
Great.
Boom.
Oh, my God. It's time for German Word of the Week.
Wait, did you pause?
Yeah. Okay, hang on.
Do Do you want to do the Rain Man?
I've started the recording again.
Memory Man? Okay.
And goes like, do you want to do this other story? And I was like, no. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, you do it. He's like, I can't do it.
I don't have a computer. I don't have memory.
We're not doing it then.
I don't have a memory. Okay. Off you go.
German word of the week.
Schattenparker.
Schattenparker. Shut putter.
Nope.
I don't know what
Shadow parker. Someone who parks in the shade.
Schattenparker. I'm one of those. Ich bin ein Schattenparker.
One of the but it's one of the like insults that you love. There's these like lame insults that Germans.
Is this one of the toxic masculinity insults?
It's pretty much, yeah. It's like someone who makes sure to park their car in the shade. That's considered somehow wussified or cosmopolitan or bad. So I'm not a big fan of all these, but it's kind of like warm duscher, someone who takes a warm shower. Mm-hmm. Like, why wouldn't you take a warm shower? But I guess it's the thing.
Yeah.
So Schattenparker. There you go. I don't like it, but I acknowledge that it exists as a word and these insults as a concept. For a while, I think they're probably dated, hopefully, but for a while, especially German men would insult each other by saying you take warm showers or you park your car in the shade. It's not right. The German, obviously, they don't have enough comics and they don't have enough swear words because you got to find something weird and pseudo-intellectual like this to insult people. Anyway.
The Brits are very good at this without additional swear words and coming up with creative insults.
Oh, they have, yeah. But also they have good swear words. Yeah. I mean, some of these British, Scottish, Walesian, and Irish swear words are very good.
Okay, it's time for Ingo Corner, but I will say Remy is plaintive in need of his dinner.
Yeah, well.
So don't go too long.
Brody's sleeping, though. Brody's missing it the whole time. I don't have anything new.
Great. Thanks everyone.
To everyone for listening and supporting everybody.
And until next time, Slava Ukraini, and don't fight anyone unless they ask you to.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.